should the U.S. block investment by Chinese companies in America until China opens its market wider to U.S. business. That idea, which is popping up in some trade circles, derives from the well-known principle of reciprocity in this case, doing unto others as they do unto you. It generally guides trade pacts, including those governing the U.S. and China, in the form of rules intended to produce mutual benefit, but the U.S. has few tools, and no bilateral treaty, to separately help companies get past China's restrictions on investment buying or building operations in China. Why? Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Not use access to America's market as leverage. Or so goes the argument. The subject even came up when Vice President Joe Biden was getting briefed for his last trip to China, according to one attendee. Mr. Biden's office declined to comment. Forcing reciprocity on another country is controversial for a number of reasons. But it's getting some attention because Chinese direct investment in the U.S. is rising. This year, it's expected to hit roughly $8 billion annual record and up from $11 million in 2000, says Rhodium Group, which tracks investment. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. China has invested a total of about $23 billion in energy, entertainment and other sectors in the U.S. By comparison, U.S. companies have more than 3 times that invested in China, according to Rhodium. American firms have long argued that, in a fair world, their stake would be much bigger. In a study out this month, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce describes a labyrinthine approval process for investment in China that favors domestic companies and inhibits foreign access. The report recommends that China adopt the principle of reciprocity by, in part, eliminating investment reviews at the thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. U.S. doesn't have tougher notions of reciprocity, though, have proponents on the left and the right, at home and abroad. Senator Charles Schumer, the New York Democrat, wants a more severe approach and has asked the administration to actually block the acquisition of Canada's Nexen include, -1.81%, which has assets in the U.S., by China's oil giant CNOOC -0.42%. Mr. Schumer says he first wants reciprocal treatment for U.S. companies doing business in China. When people say we don't have any leverage over China, well, yes we do, adds Derek Scissors. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. An economist at the Conservative Heritage Foundation who previously counseled companies on doing business in China. You might want to remind them that access to our market just may not be approved. Canada has delayed approving CNOOC's purchase of Nexen until it gets additional information. The country's Prime Minister, meanwhile, has stated that China has virtually unrestricted access to Canada while Canadian investment is often blocked in China. He has also publicly mused about the virtues of reciprocity. The European Commission, meanwhile, has proposed requiring that government procurement rules be reciprocal. It has China. Thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Chiefly in mind, European Union member nations would have to approve the proposal, and some are notably opposed. In the U.S., potential national security and other concerns recently scuttled both same groups' desire to buy the wind farm near restricted military airspace in Oregon and Superior Aviation Beijing Co.'s proposal to buy Hawker Beechcraft, which has some defense business. A congressional report also warned that China's AI 00250.SE -0.85% and ZTE 0000063.SE -2.01% telecom companies pose security risks. These problem transactions represent a small portion of China's total deals in the U.S. and weren't evidently thank you for trying verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. The result of a hidden form of reciprocity. But it didn't appear that way to some abroad. There is a lot of hostility and prejudice in the U.S. against Chinese investors, said Xi Wenbo, Chinese president. Of course, one man's reciprocity is another's protectionism. This is a slippery slope. For that reason, U.S. multinationals shy away from the idea. They're worried that China will retaliate against their existing business and erupt additional hurdles to investment. Current U.S. law essentially limits government oversight of foreign investment in America to projects affecting national security, and Company. Thank you for trying Verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Want to keep it that way? We let Chinese investment into the U.S. because it's good for us, says Rodium Dan Rosen, who worked in the White House on China's accession to the World Trade Organization. The benefits are job creation and the tax base. Reciprocity isn't something we should do. Why abandon our principles of economic liberalism and play their game? It would be cutting off your nose to spite your face, concludes Tim Keeler, the former chief of staff to the U.S. Trade Representative in the George W. Bush administration. Thank you for trying Verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. Besides, not every U.S. company is complaining. In a survey of American companies in China by the US China Business Council, 90% of respondents said they are optimistic or somewhat optimistic about business prospects in China over the next 5 years. Hoyt Harper, head of global brand management for Sheraton Hotels and Resorts, says his chain has 54 properties in China and 50 more slated to open in the next few years. It just continues to grow. Still, a lot of companies, such as big U.S. manufacturers and financial services companies that compete directly with Thank you for trying Verbose. This recording will go away once the product has been purchased. China's state-owned enterprises aren't so lucky. They could use some help. China's companies are just beginning their search for investments abroad. What's clear is that U.S. leverage is certain to grow. What isn't clear is how, or whether, the U.S. will use it.